Hey, everybody, welcome back to another daily drop. I am Andrew Jones. We are in transition right now, as most of you know. We have left Tar Heel Illustrated in transition to our next endeavor. We will hopefully have a formal announcement fairly soon. We must wait for everything to be on the same page before there is a formal announcement, but there will be something coming in the next few weeks for sure. But we are still operating. We're still popping out daily drops and putting all kinds of stuff on our social media pages. I've been having some fun digging back through my phone to throw some photos up there and some old videos. Had one here recently, Roy Williams signing autographs on Final Four Friday in 2017. I always enjoy filming those things because I like to bring people in where they may not normally be able to see stuff and then get it on out there, and they're fun memories to look back on. The topic today is Seth Trimble. Is this his team? More specifically, is he the leader for this team? Is he the guy? And I'm going to compare his situation to one of David Noel that David Noel experienced nearly 20 years ago. In fact, it was 20 years ago. David Noel in the 2005-2006 season, coming off a national championship year for the Tar Heels, he was the leading returning scorer at like 3.5 points a game. All those dudes went pro. Coming into the program was, a six-man freshman class, very talented group that includes someone by the name of Tyler Hansbrough. David Noel was a great leader. I will never, ever forget, after they were eliminated by George Mason in the second round of the NCAA tournament in Dayton, that was before Dayton had the play-in games, basically. The Tar Heels lost to George Mason. That was Mason's amazing Final Four run. I asked Roy Williams about David Noel as a leader, and Roy got choked up because David was such a good leader for that group. There are so many attributes he brought to the court that weren't just basketball, that were things that kept that group together all year long. And he was pretty good. He actually played a year in the NBA. You could play a year in the NBA, play with the Bucks. That means you're pretty damn good. There were a lot of things David could do for this team vocally. He was very vocal. He knew when to speak. He knew when to smack a fanny. And he did some good stuff on the floor. Had an all-ACC year. Crazy athletic, just like Seth. In fact, if you've never seen it, go on Google, dial up the David Noel dunk at Kentucky. Just David Noel dunk at Kentucky. Look it up. Freak athlete. He was a really good football player. In fact, he had football scholarship offers. But Matt Doherty said, come on in, preferred walk-on, and let's see what you can do. Well, he turned out to be pretty damn good. I think there's some Seth Trimble elements here. Seth was more productive as a sophomore and junior than David was, but his Seth junior year, Carolina barely made the tournament. David's junior year, he had 4 first-round picks on the floor, plus Jawad Williams, plus Jackie Manuel. Seth is going to welcome a whole new roster for the most part as well, but they're transfers. They're older guys. So the difference is David was in his 4th year, had the gravitas of being a 4-year Tar Heel, just like Seth has. But a bunch of wet behind the ear dudes came in. They already respected him. He had a ring. So he was able to get those guys kind of in his pocket and said, let's go. Seth's in a different situation because so many of these dudes coming in can be sort of self-policed. Everything that I understand, Henry Vasar is self-policing. Everything I understand, Kyan Evans is self-policing. And from what we've heard through David Sis talking to European scouts, and he's spoken to quite a few, including someone who has seen Luka Bogovac play many, many times, he is self-policing as well. So in a way that makes Seth's job easier, but also makes it harder if he's going to be the voice. And you really do need a voice. And the reasons I think Seth can be that guy, A, even if he's not the best player in the team, B, even if he's got three other starters who are self-policing and don't need as much guidance, is because Seth is going to be the one guy in that room that gets what it takes to be a four-year Tar Heel. He understands the front of the jersey. No disrespect to anybody else on the team last year, but nobody talked more about the front of the jersey than Seth Trimble did. It means a lot to him. It's one of the reasons he came. It's one of the reasons he's still there. He also wants to win. But the other reason I think Seth can be that guy is because he's not afraid to speak. He damn near called out names at Little John Coliseum last season. And probably should have. It would have been justified if he did. But he says it like it is. You know, Leaky Black was that way some too, but Leaky wasn't the leader or in a situation where he had to, like Seth may have to, or like David Noel did back in 2006. You know, Leaky would call it like it is. Brady Manick called it like it was pretty early on too, which was interesting. I think that actually helped establish him later that year. Seth needs to be that guy now. Seth needs to be that guy in October. Seth needs to be that guy Friday, November 7th, when Kansas comes into town. And needs to maintain that throughout the year. And he also needs to know when to speak, when not to speak. And I actually think that that's there because the fact that he did bite his tongue at Little John tells me that he's very aware of where the lines are. And I think there are times the line is here, and I think there are times the line is here. I think Seth understands that. I think he'll take ownership of this team. Again, he may not be the best player, may not be the leading scorer, may not be the leading this or that. But that doesn't mean he can't be the leader. That doesn't mean he can't be the voice. He's certainly going to be the early voice to the media. He'll be at the ACC tip-off in Charlotte. He'll be there at ACC Media Day or UNC Media Day. They're going to put him in front of us a lot because he's going to be the spokesman for the team. I think he'll be very good at it. And I think this will be his team. Regardless of what the stats are, this will be Seth Trimble's team, much like 2006 was David Noel's team. What do you think? Do you think Seth's the guy? Or do you think one of the new guys, because there's so much newness, there's room for someone to slide in and say, hey, man, this is my team. Harrison Ingram did a little bit of that a few years ago, and he walked into a situation where there were more returning guys than right now. So maybe it's somebody else. Let me know what you guys think. Also, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We are continuing to build. We got something to announce in a few weeks. Stay with us. Be patient. We will do it once we can. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that kind of stuff that Jacob likes to point out. And we're going to be rolling these out just about every Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.